Oh, hello everybody. Welcome
Perfect.
to You Hate to See It. My name is Adam.
I'm Jeff. That's kind of what I was expecting, but a little bit
I am
deeper than I expected.
Lee.
Shut up.
Okay, that's fair.
On this episode of You Hate to See It,
We're
we
overthrowing our
have
government.
we have an
Kinda. We
we have
will
an
be talking about the
episode
coup.
produced by Nicolas.
Oh, oui, oui.
Le Nico.
I wanted big energy. I know I asked for it, but this is not the type of big energy I wanted.
Oh.
It just sounds like a horny, retarded dog.
So a Frenchman.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
today, sorry. Today we are learning about Napoleon III
Why?
because there's three of them.
But no, I'm not asking
There's
why
three of
there's
them.
three.
Why? Oh, you're not asking why there are three?
Yeah, I'm just asking why we're learning about it, man.
Oh, because there's a really fun story that happens in his life that I think we'll all really love.
What's this segment called? What are you calling this whole thing? This whole
Uh,
shindig? Or is this just regular podcast, or is this your
no,
new
no,
project that you're pitching?
this is Napoleon III, the Master of the Mouth Shot.
But what's the show title? Not like
Oh,
the episode
this is
title.
oh, I don't think it's I don't know. I haven't workshopped that yet.
Not really
It's
Jury of Drunken Opinion,
not
but
not really
like
jury of drunken opinions, more
but like
like
what Jury of Drunken Opinion's turning into, kind
yeah,
of.
kinda. It's that, but instead of like going over a bad dude, it's kind of like a guy in history that like focusing on this one thing that happened to him that's like
Is
fun
that what
and
it's called? This
funny.
guy in history that, and we're
This
focusing
dude,
on one thing that's
yeah,
happening to him.
yeah, something like
By the
that. Well,
time this
it's a
episode
little
comes out
wordy,
at the
but
end of January, like you'll have a title and
yeah,
then
yeah.
okay.
It probably won't, but maybe.
Well, no, you
Um,
should, so that way
Nick will
I can
forget that this ever
rebrand it.
happened the second day
Yeah.
true.
it's end meeting.
Yeah.
So
Um,
Once I will rebrand it. So,
yeah. So here we get to deal with the Second French Republic out of the five that we have. So there are five French republics. We're currently on the fifth. In like 6 years, it'll be the longest lasting French Republic. So we got to make sure we get to a sixth French Republic. So like if we're lucky, there's going to be a revolution in France and we can keep the streak going.
uh-huh.
Um, so the Second French Republic was 1848 to 1852. But before that, you have uh Napoleon the Third. Now you have Napoleon One, which is Napoleon Bonaparte, the one who conquered Europe and was actually Italian. Um, and then you have his brother, who is this guy's dad, who did nothing, who just became a dude in the Netherlands. So Napoleon the Third, he grew up in what is pretty much today Germany and Italy. But he felt as a Frenchman at heart, he knew what the French people wanted, and that was another Napoleon. Um, and again, he is he speaks with a German accent. He speaks French with a German accent, but he thought that what France really needed in a time of inflation and war was more war and more inflation and another Napoleon. So he decides that I am going to go back to my people. At this point in time, all Napoleons are banned from France. Like if they go back to France, Germany just invades France because they don't want that shit to happen again. It's also not Germany at the time, it's Prussia. Um, but Napoleon III basically gets convinced by what is today Elon Musk that um the French people are calling for another Napoleon. So he gets together like 30 dudes who none of them are French, none of them speak French, and they sail from Italy to uh France, to like a little French coastal town that's garrisoned, and they get caught by a customs inspector. And the customs inspector's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? Like, what you guys aren't the French army." And Napoleon goes, "I am Napoleon. I am here to save you." And he goes, "Who?" Um, and they basically hit this guy over the head and tie him up and leave him in a swamp. Um, and they steal his uniform.
Okay.
And they then go march through the town with one person in a French uniform going, "Hey, we're the French army." And then the French army sees this and goes, "Hey, you're not the French army." And they go and they escort the 30 dudes into the garrison. This is peacetime. No one's like, everyone has muskets, but like ammo hasn't been distributed. No one has a sword except for an officer. No one has a loaded gun. So it's just like 30 dudes surrounded by 60 dudes when no one's armed except for like 3 people. So the commander of the garrison goes up to Napoleon III and is like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And Napoleon goes, I am Napoleon. I am here to save you. I am here to bring back the French Empire and restore it to the glorious days of my uncle." Um, and this guy goes, "I knew Napoleon. You are not Napoleon." So Napoleon III decides to draw his pistol and shoot this guy's number 2 in the mouth,
Oh.
blowing off his. This guy lives, by the way.
Oh,
Blowing off. Yeah, he lives. He just took a musket ball to the jaw and lived. And just shoots him in the mouth, and then he just turns into a fist fight between 30 and 60 dudes. Um, Napoleon is able to take and hold the garrison. And then the actual French army shows up with like 600 guys and force him to retreat. But while he's retreating, he like goes to try and hide, and he ends up in the room with the guy's wife and mother, whom he shot in the mouth,
Okay.
and they just beat the crap out of him until the French army shows up. So they just beat him with like sticks and brooms and restrain him and give him to the French army because Napoleon shot their son and husband in the mouth with a musket ball.
I can get behind this.
can you
So
imagine being that number 2? You're just standing off to the side while like your commanding officer's arguing with this man, and you see the man reach and pull out his fucking gun. You're like, "Hey, what's he do? He's gonna shoot my command. Wait, what the fuck? My jaw's gone."
so also for perspective, you have to remember that this isn't too long after Napoleon Bonaparte, and Napoleon Bonaparte is a god. It's like he's George Washington. So basically, imagine George Washington's no-name nephew, who's also named George Washington, raiding a fort in New Jersey and shooting a lieutenant in the mouth. That is what we currently have going on here. So, what happens is Napoleon then captured and getting his ass beat by 2 middle-aged ladies. The Germans are like, "Hey, we need to hang him because he just tried to perform a coup on France." And the British are like, "No, we can't just hang a royal. He's still a royal. We can't just
He gets the
hang
guillotine,
royals."
doesn't he?
No. He gets a one-way ticket to New York and
Oh.
like 6 million modern day dollars.
What the fuck?
He just basically gets a vacation in $6 million to go fuck off
That's
through the
like,
U.S.
yeah, that's like a fucking serial killer here getting charged with like 8 counts, but he was like a politician. They're like, no, we can't give him the death penalty. Hey, here's $50 million, and you're gonna, and you're going,
And so he
you're
then
going to
proceeds.
Prague.
He proceeds to go to New York and just tours the US, spending all of his money getting hammered and fucking his way through the US and being like, you know what France needs? Railroads. Because this is right during railroads are being developed in the US.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know what France needs? Railroads. Railroads are brand new modern day technology. Like, think of a Tesla.
Yeah.
Like a technology example would be like he goes to the US, he sees Teslas, electric cars, like autonomously driven. France is still working with like the Model T. France doesn't have like they have like donkey tracks is what the modern way France like does commerce. They don't have trains. They have like a train from Paris to Berlin and that's it. And he goes, "You know what we need? Railroads." And there's also like cars are being developed. He sees like a Model T and is like, this is what France needs. This is what'll reinvigorate France. People are starving, but we need railroads.
Hmm.
So
I mean, that makes sense.
after like 4 years of just blowing all of his money in the US, he then takes a boat back to England. And then when he goes back to England, someone in England goes, you know what France really needs right now? Another Napoleon. He's like, well, guess what? My name's Napoleon. I'm the guy. So, they can go back to France because France is actually at war. And the monarch, because so there was the first French Republic. So go back to Hamilton, Adam.
Yes,
Okay,
I know
so
Hamilton.
yes, you had
We know.
you had the French royal family.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They were executed. Marie Antoinette, King Louis. They were executed. Then you have the first French Republic. Then the
Mm-hmm.
French Republic becomes Napoleon's monarchy, becomes the empire. Napoleon gets overthrown. He leaves. He comes back. He becomes emperor again. He gets overthrown. And then you have the second French Republic. No, then you have the second French monarchy. The people overthrow the French monarchy again, and Napoleon goes, "It's my time." And he gets elected president of France,
Okay.
where he then proceeds to start just building railroads and basically tearing down half of Paris and rebuilding it. So like modern day French architecture and like how Paris is currently set up is what Napoleon III did while he was president of the Second French Republic, which lasts for from 1848 to 1852.
Okay.
4 years.
Yeah. And during this time, the English go, hey, we don't like the Russians. We don't like the Turks. The Russians and the Turks are currently fighting over Crimea, a little place you might know in Ukraine or Russia. We'll see how that shakes out in the next couple months.
Yeah, they do things with rivers.
Yeah.
'Cause you Crimea River.
Wow, that was. Ooh, did you think of that on your own, or did you know?
I did.
Okay,
I
that
did.
was-
As soon as you said Crimea, it's
Ooh.
the first thing that pops in my
Damn,
head.
I liked it. It's actually a peninsula, but not bad.
This fucker
So
trying to ruin it.
they see the Ottomans and the Russians fighting over Crimea, and the French and the
Why
English
is
go to the French.
why is my couch fighting Russians?
I hate you. And then the English go to the French and go, "Hey, you've built the second largest navy in the world in like 2 years." Because that was another huge thing for Napoleon. He just started. I just hit myself in the fucking face with my mic.
I saw.
Ow.
I'm glad it's on camera.
Ow, that hurt. Napoleon's like, we need ships. We got to compete with England, even though England is the one who set me up to be the president. So they go to Crimea, and it is just an absolute debacle of a shit fest. The English and French, who were allies, end up fighting each other because it's foggy and no one knows what's what. You have machine guns for the first time. So you have fucking cavalry charges against Maxim machine guns, which Maxim machine guns are a fun little item because it's a water-cooled barrel. But they don't have water. They're really short on like drinkable water. So they can start peeing in the barrels to cool off the barrels. Urine's acidic and everyone's dehydrated. So they just start basically breaking down their own barrels and guns because it's just acidically burning away the barrel.
Okay.
So, and they're just mowing down horses with machine guns. So that goes horribly. Then, Napoleon comes back to France, and he's like, "You know what we need now? A war with Prussia." So we're going to take a step back and we're going to talk about Napoleon's military experience before this. And that was leading Swiss mercenaries through the Italian Alps to attack Italy, where he got his brother killed by giving shitty orders in Italy. So this guy's like, let's go to war with Prussia. Prussia kicks the ever-loving shit out of France. And France goes, "Hey, England, help." England goes, "No." And Napoleon III gets ran out of power, and we have the fall of the Second French Republic as Napoleon runs back to France, and where he lives out his glory days with I believe it was a 1.5 million a year stipend from the British government to just go away. So yeah, that's Napoleon III. The master of mouth shots and getting your siblings killed in Italy. So the next French Republic will take place in 1870. Yeah. So you got another monarchy in there. France is a great time. France is pretty great.
Something like that.
So
Interesting.
Adam, do the thing.
Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening to this episode. Thank you for being our guest.
You also sound like a fucking vampire.
he
from
sounded like a Mexican for a second.
So there is an interview with Ewan McGregor, who played Lumiere in the live action Beauty and the Beast, who said that he struggled because if you go hard enough into French, you turn stereotypical Mexican. And he struggled doing the French accent because he kept going Mexican.
Yeah.
Anyway, w.gg promo code YOUH82 CIT wee wee. You hate to see it on it.
Nick, do the roar and end this.
Oh yeah, I have to do that.
Yeah, you got this.
I hope you leave
hold
that
on, do
in.
I have to
Oh,
how do
you
I, how do
hit
I
stop recording.
It's the top right, the stop button.
stop recording?